Welcome to Greek for a Week. I'm glad that you've decided to view this week's video, and this week we will begin Paul's Thanksgiving portion of the letter to the Philippian church, and that's verses 3 through 11. That's Paul's Thanksgiving section. We are going to look at verses 3 and 4 of chapter 1. Verse 3 is here and verse 4 is here. He states, I give thanks to my God because of all of the remembrance of you, always in every prayer of mine, for all of you when making my prayer with joy. So as you take a look here, we're going to see in verse 3, Eucharisto. And I emphasize the sto at the end because the lexical form has an epsilon in it. The lexical form has an epsilon between the tau and the omega, which would be in this range here, okay? And what happens in the first person, singular, present active indicative, the epsilon and the omega contract, and the omega is the vowel that stands. And you'll know something is taking place, such as vowel contraction, because of the circumflex that's above the omega. The epi clause here, which is my preposition, epi, passe, te, mania, humon. That prepositional phrase there. Probably this epi here is one of cause, which is why I translated it. Paul gives thanks. Why? Because of all the remembrance of you. And then you have the humon here, which is a personal pronoun, second personal pronoun, genitive, and it's plural. That's probably an objective genitive. It's about the Philippians. It's his remembrance of you. Then in verse 4, you have pantate. The first word is basically a temporal adverb, and it modifies giving thanks. It basically tells you when Paul is giving thanks. And then the en passe dese, en passe dese, actually goes over to the mu as well, because the mu would modify the prayers. It would be my prayers or the prayers of me. This probably is the means, again, the means by which Paul gives thanks, that is, in every or in all the prayers of me or my prayers. So this prepositional phrase would go back to I give thanks as well. The huper, panton, humon here is another prepositional phrase. You can see that Paul uses quite a bit of them to bring about, you could say, how he's giving thanks, when he's giving thanks, why he's giving thanks. Prepositional phrases, as you know, typically modify verbs. Well, this particular prepositional phrase, huper, panton, humon, the huper, you probably could translate that with a reference to or for all of you. So always in all the prayers of me with reference to. So here's with reference to all of you or for all of you. That's a way you could handle that. Then you have meta, again, another prepositional phrase, meta karas. Again, I'm going to suggest that's probably manner, answering the question how. the manner in which Paul is making his prayers. Um, that is with joy. Uh, and then lastly, then you have the poiumenos. That is a participle, probably again a temporal participle, when or while Paul is offering every prayer. So a lot going on just in these two verses here, verses 3 and 4. I'm going to continue next week and do verses 5 and 6. 5 and 6. And I may pause there. And then at that point, then the following week, so in 2 weeks, I might take the time to diagram verses 3 through 6. But again, the entire paragraph would be 3 through 11. So we might take the opportunity to diagram 3 through 6 and then diagram 7 through 11 several weeks down the road, and then put it all together in 3 through 11 diagram. Again, trust this has been helpful. Have a great Thanksgiving holiday this week. Blessings to you.